Hey, it's Dr. J, and guess what? Today is a special day for two reasons. We've got my good mate and superstar guru in marketing, Richard Toutounji from Com Marketing, and he's taken a big chunk of his day out to have a chat with us today. But today's the final See More People. And over the last, 2.5 months now, we've been bringing on experts to talk about marketing and lead generation. I must say that it's an area I've always been fascinated in, and I just love when we actually talk to experts that really know what they're doing. I get goosebumps when I hear the simplicity of the things that are complicated in my head to be able to create lead gen. Now, we're experts in conversion and also guerrilla marketing for referrals and all that stuff. But when it comes down to lead generation, there's a plethora of different things. Now, if you go back into lots of the other See More People, Richard has had some absolute golden nuggets every single time he comes on. And today's topic is a very final one, but I thought it was a great finale. And it says effective marketing for any budget. Now, he's going to be covering things like low-cost marketing ideas. We're going to talk about upscaling your marketing strategy. And also the last one is how to add more into your marketing mix, because it's not just website, it's not just how can we say social media. So it's going to be a quickie. Richard's pretty strapped for time, but I can assure you, take your trusty pen out, because Richard is masterful at what he does, and so is his team. So Richard, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Good to be here. And yeah, I look forward to the session.
Look, marketing is such a plethora of lots of different things. Branding, and you're experts in branding and making sure that we start with that. And around about, I think it was like 5-6 weeks ago, we had a great session on branding. We went through a whole lot of other nuances of Facebook and Instagram. But there's so many things that people need to learn. But everyone has a really strict budget these days. They can't be spending buckets of money. And as you said, I think it was in the last session, you could spend copious amounts of money on Facebook and get zero return because you've done it wrong. So I really love this topic because it's a good way of wrapping up marketing. And with your Ninja program and your scalers, you've got people that come in that absolutely know zero, nothing, and all of a sudden generating anywhere between 10, 20, 30 leads a week with really high conversions. Now, and I see the accolades all the time. So I want to see if you can share some of those success stories, but also put it into some practicums that people can do today.
Yeah, no problem, Steve. Let's get into it. What I might do, just to kick it off a little bit different today, Steve, is just actually show you some things that some clients who have done, and then I can take you through some stories and scenarios that they were going through in their head. Now, obviously, if you're not in the fitness industry, you might think, oh, how does that relate? We work with other industries, but specifically, these examples I may show you with the fitness industry. I might just share my screen, Steve. There's one thing that I love about my job, probably the best thing I love to do with these videos, Steve. What it means is we go into a client that's worked with us for a while, and then we actually go and film their studio or their club or what they do. And so I'll take you through maybe some of these stories of these case studies here. And like this guy here, Tony, this Tony Morello here in the top right-hand corner here. He's a very sort of animated guy. And, he was a guy that was been in business for 20 years. So if you've been, I guess, in business for 20 years plus, and he worked from 6 to kind of 8 o'clock every day, session back to back. So if you're a plumber, electrician, any kind of service-based business, same kind of concept. And he was so afraid to grow because he didn't understand where his next leads were going to come from. And so he actually had a premises, Steve. He had a place there ready to go, but he wouldn't step into it because he didn't know how to scale up. And so he actually came to us and he says, Richard, I need to build a website. And I said, you need more than a website, Tony. You need to ensure that we can generate fast leads. And, to cut a long story short, he came into our Ninja program. We set up some leads for him, some Facebook ads. And I can show him I'll show another clip in a second. I've got that later down the line. But he basically called me up and said, Richard, please turn Facebook off. I don't know how to turn it off, but I'm getting too many leads. I don't know what to do with them. And so he now employs 6 people. He's got a beautiful studio. But the biggest thing that he had a problem with, Steve, and I think this might relate to a lot of these case studies that I can show you, and everybody's got a very similar story, is that the first thing that people have a problem with is they have a problem with implementation, execution, and believing in themselves they can actually do it. We've had a tough year last year. Every business had a tough year. Some businesses are won, some businesses are lost, some people will stay stable. But I think coming into 2021, it's still early days, right? At the end of the day. And I think, people are still, as you said, job keepers finishing up and all these things. And so there's still a bit of fear around. There's still a lot of uncertainty around. And, people are scared of going away from borders and what we're going to do if you're interstate. But ultimately, I think marketing is relatively simple. We need to make sure that we impact people through relationships. We impact people through growth. And like all our clients here, the reason why we love to work with this industry specifically is because they have a very big passion of growth. And it's relationship sales, Steve. It's not product sales, selling a cup or something like that, and relationship sales as we need to tell the right stories. And that's what we went through with Facebook a while ago. We went through Facebook and said, you need to tell storytelling. You need to give, good content, real images, all these kind of things. Short-term strategies are great. And I'm a big believer in short-term strategies. They do have an end date to them. So we want long-term longevity business. And so that's the reason, why we have this ninja program. That's the reason why I love to do these case studies, like Dr. Bobby, one of your clients as well. He was in the ninja program twice. He went to the scale program. He went from $0 to $1 million in the space of 12 months because he learned the education and then he was able to apply. But it took him that long to get the confidence, to get the know-hows, and then to have the confidence to execute. He's a whole different person now. Boris, another one of your clients, and he's working on sales and but it's all now based around the confidence of, can you get your videos on time? Can you do your implementation? This guy here, Wollongong Jim, he went from 0 to 870 members in COVID through that year. And that was honestly no ad spend, just good quality Facebook Live videos, which I can go through as well. So, the story after story, it's great. Kylie, 100 members. She was this lady at the bottom, Kylie Ray here. She came to us 100 members. She had low confidence problems and she didn't believe in her ability to market and she didn't believe in her ability to get results. I can probably tell you right now, she's a few numbers shy of 300. And it's all just come down from consistency in the marketing. And I did want to touch today, Steve, on other things like, I think one of the topics that we want to talk about was, old school marketing and some, if you don't even want to go down the digital and you think that's just all too hard, there's other ways, Steve, that, for goodness sake, there's so many good ways to market. We just got to get out there and do the damage, as you say, Steve.
You're spot on. And by the way, those people that I just love seeing those people because they're all friends of ours. They're not just clients, are they? And you're spot on. I've seen what you've done. Let's say Boris. Boris really knows his stuff. He's confident about putting something together, whacking it out into the marketplace. He tweaks it accordingly. And then it just happens. He's got the confidence to do it. I've seen Bobby. He's masterful. And I know that you regularly go in there and upgrade their videos. I think you did something just the other day and upgraded their videos because they're always evolving. And it's not just doing a course, is it? It's actually, the magic is actually being able to talk to you and your team to be able to say what's changing, because what was great a year ago, just when COVID started, to what's needed now has evolved. And you guys are on the coalface on a regular basis and your ninjas are continually evolving and then they go into scale. So I've seen it happen. And if we haven't got the assistance, and I don't think the training is just enough. It's what you guys do. You've got all the back end stuff that people don't even talk about. I've seen some of your platforms that you just measure some things and make it really easy for people to see, tick some boxes. And straight away you say, hang on, Bob, or hang on, John, that's not working. And guess what? They get your assistance to actually help them. And then they have the confidence. You learn by doing, don't you? Not just by telling. And you guys are masterful at that. And it's just great to see some of those people in some videos and so forth. So guys, if you want to know what to do, how to do it, get other people to do it for you, reach out to Richard and his team. The Ninja program is outstanding. Our team are in it. I can't speak highly of it. It's absolutely top notch. If you want to do marketing, get out there and learn it and then get others or you to implement it. So yes, it's not just digital, is it? It's actually a little bit of everything, as you said, old school, talking to human beings, belly to belly. Now we can get out without a mask. So what's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, totally, Steve. Old school marketing is like pen and paper, Steve. And And let me just, take you through maybe 3 or 4 things you can do on pen and paper. I might just share my screen here and show you some old school things you can do. So I think if we look at old school marketing, and I'm just giving you a bit of a whiteboard, Steve. I can always generally think a bit faster that way. And I want to talk about things that never go out of fashion. And we were having a bit of a conversation before, Steve, offline, and just in regards to networking and connections and relationships. So I think the first one is people. And with people, they're human beings. And it's pretty easy to understand what a human being wants. We know human beings need air, water. My father-in-law used to say, people need to eat, sleep, and shit. And if you can understand those 3 things, you need to be at those places to a degree. Not all the places, Steve, but basically that's what the human needs is somebody. They need love, they need connection, etc. COVID has given us a whole, year of disconnection face-to-face to a degree. So now going out of, in Australia, we're very lucky. And, we're going into some little catch-ups here and there, and it kind of feels nice and weird and all those kind of things. And it kind of reminds us that people want that connection still. So I'll run you through some things that I think you can do old school. And I'm sure, Steve, hopefully you agree with these kind of strategies. But number 1, I would always say coffee. Coffee in Australia is pretty huge. People love it. And even if you don't, it's one of those things that I got on coffee because people said, can you catch up for coffee? Listen, when you're growing your business, you've got more time, okay? And that means you got more time to engage with a relationship better. And when you engage a relationship better, you want to build trust. Now, the fastest way to build trust, yes, computers are amazing, and we love this in the technology game, and thank God for them through COVID. But at the end of the day, marketing, Steve, is all about attention, right? So attention at the moment.
I think that's a goal, guys. Marketing is about attention. Hear what Richard's saying. It's about attention. That's a good nugget because, get some attention.
Yeah, and attention at the moment is coffee, is relationships, is connection. When someone goes, oh, let's meet face to face. Oh, not over Zoom. So that's connection at the moment. So if you can go out of your depth, and if you're, in a business that, has a high return and it's not, volume based, but it might be a real estate, could be a personal trainer even that wants to get on a client that's going to give him $300-$400 a week, you can grow that way. I remember when I was personal training, Steve, I never really personal trained that many people. I never had to advertise much. Why? Is because I worked with one person and I had a good relationship with them, had a coffee with them, and they would introduce me to their family, their friends, and so forth, because it was from relationships. So, generally my problem is I'll never be able to get volume through or have to advertise much, because if I have a good relationship, they will refer me. So my question to you is, when was the last time you met, maybe, call your clients up and say, hey, would you like to meet up for coffee? I've got some time now. Now, I know some people do it, but I'm not talking about make a business out of it. I'm not charging someone to meet for a coffee. For goodness sake, just have a coffee with them and just ask them, hey, I just want to check in to see how you're going. And if you don't usually do this is what we call out of the box marketing, but it's in the box to a degree. So create a system around it that once a year, once every 6 months, once a month, whatever you want to do, you might call them up, meet them for a coffee, do something that's different outside the box. One of our clients used to, have a garden in her apartment, and she was kind of like, it was in a city, and so she would pull out the cucumbers and the tomatoes and lettuce, and then she would go and visit her clients in their workplace and drop off fresh tomatoes. How good's that? That's fresh awesome. Cucumbers, and just catch up with them and say, hey, I'm really thinking about you. I grew these, and I knew, could use the extra veggies, and, went to their workplace and dropped it off. That's wow.
It's an area that has been lost. And some people have said over the last, say, 2 years, I don't do coffee anymore. I don't want to have thousands of cups of coffee with people that are just kicking tires and want to pick my brains. Well, I think the coffee conversation is twofold. One, with a client that is already with you, so you've got a relationship, so there's a bond, so there's a big rock there. Secondly, someone that actually wants to have a conversation with you, it comes down to qualifying them to make sure that they are the right fit for a cup of coffee. Now, a cup of coffee and a chat which has an outcome, and I truly believe there needs to be a pre-frame on the outcome, would really make a big difference. It says that we can Zoom, but why don't we just catch up for a coffee if they've qualified? When you get belly to belly, you got a transfer of energy too, and you get more attention. So I think this is a big deal. And in some people, and by the way, from going from just Zoom and say, how about we have a coffee? It's like, oh my goodness, how different is that? That will only last us 6 months while we're back on terra firma. But I think if they qualified well, you should have a number of coffees with you over the year with the clients, and then pick after you qualify to have those belly to belly meetings. I agree with you.
Yeah, and so you just got to understand that some people might go, well, I can't automate that, I can't systemate that, I can't grow that, and that kind of stuff. But that's the point of it. And you might want to put a month aside where, you take the time and meet 3 kind of people. What we do in our business, whenever I'm in a different place and different location, I want to go and visit my client. And so I do 2 things. One, I visit my client, I'll do a workout. I'll also do a video. I'll take a picture. I'll spend some time with them. I'll do a bit of strategy with them. And it's just a bonus that I'm not going to advertise, but it's just something I like doing.
And guess what? You showed us on Instagram how you do that. You went in to have a workout. You took a photograph. Now, guess what? The client then, it's reciprocity. They will then be quite comfortable in telling their friends and their buddies to say, oh, this is what Richard did for us. And they say, yeah, we saw him on Instagram. Instantly you get a referral that is highly qualified. And it's just something that you do, and you give a lot of a value add, but that is marketing.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times, Steve, it just happened this week, actually. I went into a client's place. I shared their content. I did a live with them. And then somebody else that was following our brand for 2 years called that person up and said, hey, do you work with Com? What do they like? Because they saw their stories. And so again, Instagram stories, if I can tell you how much money I've made through Instagram stories, just by people seeing it and then calling the person, you'd be shocked. And I could probably use that as a marketing gimmick, couldn't I? I could say, this Instagram story made me X amount of money, right? But I won't, because you've got to work the Instagram story. But the game here is that I work the Instagram story. Yes, I share, I'm having, I'm working on that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, that only happened. Why? It only happened, Steve, because we decided that we wanted to go belly to belly with a person, have a coffee, give them some tomatoes, qualify them, have a chat, have a workout. But at the end of the day, we've got to remember that we're dealing with people. When you
I love the way you've combined the digitization with your belly to belly. You've gone in for a workout, you've gone for a cuppa, you've taken a photo. So you've combined the two, but then you go belly to belly and have a cuppa. And, end of the day, it's not every day, but pick your people. I think that's a nice, effective way of getting out into the market. Now, obviously, as you said, it's not scalable. So what are some of the things of getting some low cost marketing to create a lot of amount of leads? What's a couple of big rocks there?
Well, I think low cost digitalized marketing to get a lot of leads. You mean digital stuff, Steve?
Digital, or it could be belly to belly. It doesn't matter. I mean, the guy's going to be looking at it and say, wow, I'm going to get some coffees. I'm going to get there. I'm going to do my Instagram. What else could I do to generate a few extra leads, especially for some hay months before we get into winter?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think while we can, I think local markets are a really good idea. And I guess what we're trying to get to is that we're trying to grab attention where attention's short at the moment. And I see at the moment there's some local markets going on. The great thing about local markets is that anybody, like if you're a local based business and someone has a local market, it's really one of those people love going there and buying little bits and pieces. And so it's great attention on that game. And so I'm really big on attention in the right areas, and that's localized attention. So of course, you can have a market. You can obviously, give something away to get the details, like dangle the carrot kind of stuff, run a massage booth there to grab attention that way. And then what you can do then is then follow it up through low cost digital ads, paid ads. The thing that I love, and I can go through a little bit more detail if you want, is I think we've run it before, is Facebook Lives. I think Facebook Lives in a local group is very, very good. And
jump on there. If you went to the local market, put up a little booth. I mean, I know it costs about $200. It's not a lot, but then you could have someone there. You could take a photograph, put them on Instagram, say, meet us down here and go into the competition. Or you could maybe do a live while you're at the local market. So you're getting the belly to belly stuff where you're being seen and getting attention, but also you could stick it on digital at the same time.
Yeah, totally. And I think this is where the connection piece between localized comes 100%. The other thing, if you're in a condensed area, like for example, in a gym, right? And we always say this we're running a new program. It's called the 21-day program. It's launching every month. It starts on Wednesday. And one of the things is what we call an elevator pitch. We know what an elevator pitch is. Obviously, pitching your business in 30 seconds on an elevator. And an elevator pitch is exactly that. But the thing is, an elevator pitch works if you have opens to talk about. So if you were riding up and down an elevator all day long, you'd have more elevator pitch. So the question is, how can you get in front of more people to have the elevator pitch with? And so if you don't have any clients, struggling to get clients, and you're in a high density area, like for example, a gym or anything like that, or a physio that wants more work, or it doesn't matter what kind of industry, like for example, a gym, you need to be in the gym 3 hours a day. So it's less like sales calls, Steve. You don't have any leads. And if you had leads, you'd be on the phone, right, for 3 hours. If you don't have leads, your goal is to be in the gym. And in that gym, you've got to have your 9-word, your really short, sharp, messages that you put out, like we've already talked about. So you take the stuff, the fast lead formulas we talked about before, and it might say, hey, are you still interested in working out? But instead of digitalizing that, Steve, all you're doing is you're going to a person to say, hey, how you doing? I'm Richard, the trainer. I noticed that you squat. I just want to improve that for you. Or, hey, do you want a hand? Or, hey, how's your workouts going in 2021? It's opening conversations up now. So if you're in a gym for 3 hours and you can open up 10-minute chats, you should be chatting to 5 people every single hour. Guess what? When you do that, Steve, then you get a conversion rate of 20%, and then you make a sale. So that's how you do elevator pitches.
5 people every hour. How you going? Do you want a hand with that? How are you going? Do you want to be able to do that better? So in other words, I haven't got any leads. Well, let's go and talk to a human being. Perfect.
5 people an hour, 3 hours a day. That's 15 people. If you have a 20% or 10% conversion, a 10% conversion of 15 people over the 3 hours, that's going to get you something like 1 to 2 people, maybe 1 to 2 people that will pay you $80 to $100, $200 a week. And then you got a client. And it's that basic. Unfortunately, Steve, it's that basic. I've got nothing else to say right now. It's that simple. That's what you have to do.
Well, look, I remember many years ago where I was at one of our clients' clubs, and he said, we're just barren of leads. And he was sitting the club was in a shopping center of all places at Miranda. And I said, well, let's go across to Arizona, which was a bar in the middle of the day, and let's have a drink. I said, let's go. He said, what are we going to do? I said, we're going to have a lemon squash. We sat down. And there was a fella sitting across there and we said, hello. That was all we said. And he said, how you going? What are you doing? He said, I'm a bit of a rest. He said, where do you work? He worked upstairs. Conversation got, he wanted to lose some weight. He said, did you know there's a gym there? He said, I didn't even know it existed. So he went in there, $1,500 later. And he said, my goodness, all these people are walking past us. Why don't you just say hello? And look, some people want to talk to you, some people won't. But it's, as you said, it's a numbers game. Now, that's a cold lead. If you've got a personal trainer inside a club, there's a reason to go and say hello. So 5 an hour is not a big ask. And you then got to have your pitch, and then you've got to have a process in place. So I think that's a food for thought for everybody.
Perfect. Totally, Steve. And it really is that basic. If we can keep things basic in 2021, you win the game. I think, Steve, the last thing I want to talk about is really is the most important thing is like, that all works, right? People are going to say, yep, I'm going to do that. But as soon as we get busy, guess what? We're too busy for that.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. So true. I can't go and talk to people. I'm getting busy with my clients. So I'm busy running my business. So how do we scale it?
We've all been through it. So it just means that, at the moment I've struggled, but I've cleared my diary 2 days a week so I can have that time to have the coffees or to get the chats, because I've been just flat out. And I think, hang on, let me get back to basics, because I need my days to do things. So what I've done on my Thursdays, for example, I've scheduled out and called it Marketing Thursdays. So that means to me, partnership conversations, longer chats on the phone to people, relationships, all these things that help me got to the point but then you get too busy servicing, and then you can't scale. So you get to this point like this, and it's like that. But you've got to remember that to continue scaling, you need to continue put the gaps, the opportunities that will scale you up. Otherwise, what will happen is you go like this, and then you'll just, sit there nice and do the work, which is fine, work. But if you do want to scale, you need to understand that you'll need the time and the space as a business owner to think about, how can I have a partnership? How can I have a real relationship with somebody that's going to require half a day? When I plan meetings or a partner, or I'm doing video filming, Steve, I very much nearly always do my best to clear my entire day out. And I've done this for years. When I go to Brisbane, I used to go to Brisbane once a month and I film a market leader. The whole day would be cleared for one person. Why? Because in that one day, all I'm looking for is I'm just looking for an opportunity. And that opportunity might be, hey, Richard, why don't you come to lunch, have a chat? Or Richard, I want to introduce you to this person. Or Richard, can we detour that way? I've got a friend I want to introduce you to. Or you know what? Let's just talk about some new strategies for our next month. So it's really important as a business owner that you don't get too stuck down. And then, this is if you obviously want to scale, Steve. I'm not talking to people who are happy to still. That's totally fine too, by the way. But I'm talking to those, you especially, that want to scale. You need to make sure that you don't forget how you scale in the first place and then duplicate that part. And that requires you to carve out time in your diary to be that leader that people want, or that partner that people want, or that connection that people want. If you don't do that, you're then going to get back stuck into the rut, and you'll do that. And I'm only talking to this, Steve, because I've been in that process, that stuck in the rut the last few months. And finally, I've cleared my diary out, and I'm back to doing the things that I love to do.
And look, when we work in our genius, and we actually can create opportunity and create scale through a process, and that's something you teach very well in the Ninja program. It's say, not do everything, pick the things you're good at, say 2 or 3 areas of digitization, or getting out there and combining the two makes a massive difference. Now, scale is a very click word at the moment. I don't believe in my bubble that we know how to scale unless we ask people that have scaled. You've actually successfully helped many businesses all around Australia, New Zealand, and around the world to actually create that scale through creating qualified leads. So if we could leave today, very final, see more people. And it's so good to have you on board because you just give so much value. If we wanted to take some scale, say, what could one thing that they could do in the next, for the month of this month, which is March, and if you see this another time, just for a month, what's 1 or 2 things that they could do to generate some qualified leads? So let's hopefully their sales process is up to speed, that they can actually see more people.
I think the easiest thing to do, Steve, right now is I would get your diary out, and I'd structure some structured time to either talk to people individually. So you might, as I said, you might want to just get some structured time out and say, okay, I've got an hour every day that I can talk to people in my gym or fitness center or whatever they are, if that's the situation. Or if they're not in that facility and you're real estate or finance or something like that, you want to spend, block out a couple hours and then say, who can I partner with? Who can I connect with that's going to get me my next opportunity? And that's where I would, honestly carve the time. There's nothing greater than the work's in the conversation. So there's nothing more you can do on old school marketing. And obviously then everything we talked about, Instagram stories and all those kind of things, that scales and that gets people that you don't know looking at you to basically look at you.
Look, I think what you've actually, and it's a really good way of wrapping up seeing more people. And it's about seeing more people. I love it. Get your diary out. Everyone listen to me here and get your pen out and write this down. Richard said it really well. Just want to recap it because repetition is the mother of learning and skill. Get your diary out and pick 1 or 2 hours a day that you're going to pick to have a conversation with people. Get on the phone, get into your health club, get out to your business, walk the floor and have conversations. Just say hello. I think this is a big rock. The next thing he said, and I think it's something that gets talked about, but a lot of people don't do, is another hour. So 1 hour to do that, another hour, so 2 hours a day. Sit down and say, who can I connect with to partner with? Who has my clients? Who can I create a relationship where I can help them and they can help me? As an owner of a business and a driver, your success as an entrepreneur and a successful sales professional or business owner will be around the power of your networks. There's no successful entrepreneur that succeeds unless they have a strong network. So spend an hour a day talking to people, then saying, who can I partner with? Who can I help to connect with their networks? Now, if you just did that for 2 hours a day, you get a little bit of quiet time instead of being a technician, actually working on your business. I think it's great because you'll be speaking to more people. Secondly, you can only convert when you're talking to people. And the last thing is, if you're then connecting with other people's to their networks, you'll be able to see more people. And I think that's a great way of wrapping up see more people. And I'll just say it again.
Before I leave, I heard this quote from my friend the other day. He says, a business owner will always be able to sell because they know that they've got to put the food on their table and they know what that sale means basically for their business. So you never have to worry about being a business owner and not sure how to market or how to sell. You always know intuitively because you know what that sale will mean for you, your business, your family, your team, your staff. You know what that means and you'll do the best job, the right job that you know how to at that time.
Yes. It's food on the table, pay the rent, look after your family. And that's what we have a business for. We enjoy what I do and be on purpose and all that stuff. At the end of the day, we have to live our life, not just to live to work. So I've just absolutely thoroughly enjoyed our chats, Richard. You're a great personal mate, but on the business side, you're absolutely masterful in what you do, and your team are outstanding. And look, your Ninja program was a revelation to us many years ago, and is for so many people. And your scaling program, because it teaches everybody how to not just understand it, but know what to do, and even to get their team members involved. So how can people find out about the Ninja program and also scale?
First of all, Steve, I want to thanks for offering this connection with your crew and always supporting Com, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure, mate.
Putting events on like this. So I think the best place is our website. You know, if you're serious, go to our website because that's you look at some case studies. You can go through the Ninja page and spend a little bit of time on there to look over what it is. I'd say there's a lot on Facebook and Instagram, but honestly, our website's awesome and it's got a lot of case studies on and get familiar with it. And, I've got a coach, and one of the best things I did when you don't have to worry about sitting on the sidelines anymore, when you want to go in the field of play and not have to look at other people, what they're doing and how they're doing it and comparing and get rid of all that junk and just play. That's when I recommend go to a website. It's Com Marketing. Our brand's at the back there, commarketing.com.au. That's the best place. Check it out. There's a form you could fill it in on the homepage, on the Ninja page, and basically application. And then we'll be in contact, have a 15-minute chat. Then we'll have another, 30-minute chat. And then if it's the right fit, we'll do the damage as you say, Steve.
Perfect. And I must say, listen to the case studies, guys. There's some massive success stories, and you see the passion of what people have done. And if you do go to the website, you want to talk to Richard, if you want to give me a buzz, reach out to me. I'll slip you his number, and you can call the office and you can get hold of him. So thanks very much, mate. Absolutely fantastic. About 10 golden nuggets in today. So have a great day. Thanks for moving everything around for me today for our very final See More People. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Steve. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, gang. I must say that it's been a learning experience for me. It's just wonderful having great mates, but also experts in our inner circle that can help you. But I'm a big believer in it's taking action. You've got to take action if you want some help. If you can reach out to us. You can reach out to Richard and his team if you want marketing. You want to chat with Jamie and also Michael. They're all in there. We've got the whole series there for you to look at. But it's action. What are you going to do? One thing. You're going to take that 1 or 2 hours a day. Are you going to allocate some time to go and have a coffee once every 6 months with a client? Think about what Richard spoke about today. And it's about what you do. It's not about what you learn. All right, gang. Well, thanks for joining us on See More People. We'll have another series popping up real soon. So keep an eye on it, out for it. And it'll be some really good golden nuggets in there too. So I'm Dr. J. We'll see you when you're a bit older. Bye for now.